Hello everybody, welcome back. Welcome to episode 2 of my Blender Beginner Basics tutorial. In the last video, we modelled this very basic model of a pencil here. It's simply just got a nice rounded end, which we used with bevels, and a point, which we used booleans to do. So today, in this video, we will be giving this pencil materials and making it look good, getting into all that roughness and stuff. And yeah, so let's get started. So, up here at the top you'll see all these different tabs: layout, modelling, sculpting, UV editing, texture paint, shading, all of these. So go to the shading tab and you will see something that looks a lot like this. You can see if we zoom in here in this viewport. If you haven't seen the other video yet, I highly recommend you go watch that, because then you can follow along with what I'm doing here. So this slot down here is where we'll be making our materials, and along these tabs here you've got to go down and click on the material properties, and we can press new. On either of these it does the same thing. We can add a new material to our pencil. Now the new material's been added. We haven't really seen a change, but we've now got all these settings here and here. These basically do the same thing. They're two different views of the same thing. So here in base color, as you would expect, if we click on this and change the color, it changes the color of our pencil. But it changes the colour of our entire pencil, because obviously, you know, pencils are not all the same colour. You've got the lead and the sharpened bit of the main body. So the way we can assign different materials to different pencils is like this. We can add this button up here, we can add yet another new material, and now we have two materials. You can press tab to go into edit mode, and with the second material, material 002, we can add another new material. With that selected, we can go to face select mode by pressing 3 on our keyboard, or this button up here. And now you can select different faces. So if we were to select all the faces on the top of our pencil by either clicking and dragging, and then pressing shift and selecting the faces you missed, we can now assign this top part of material to material 2. So with that selected, you go to material 2, press assign. So now if you change material 2 to say a red colour, and now we can see that just this part is the right colour and is the red. So we can keep adding new materials and changing the properties of them. So say we want this middle section to be yellow, we can select all these faces by clicking on one and then shift clicking on the next one and the next one, and then we can add a new material, select new material, click assign, and then change this to say yellow. And now we have a yellow texture on our pencil. And so once again, now you can see the lead of our pencil, which is obviously going to be like a shiny grey. You can see here on our geometry we have we don't have a different face for the wood portion of a pencil and the lead portion. So what we could do there is we can go back to our layout tab, and we can go into edit mode and we can change this. Okay, first what we need to do is we need to select a bit which we want to cut. So just select this top portion of the pencil. And what you can do is you can go down here to this special tool called the bisect tool. If you hold this button, which is the knife tool, you can change it to a bisect tool. You can go to one of these side views so we can see what we're doing, and we can just draw a line where the lead would be. Like so. That has literally just made a cut right there where we need it to. So now if we select, we can select this part and this part. So now back in our shading tab, we can assign the correct materials. So this outer part is going to be obviously wood, or a wood-like colour, so a tan colour. So once we're here back at our pencil, all we really need to do, seeing as this is already material 1, the wooden part of our pencil, is just click on material 1 and change that white to the source of colour you'd have wanted. So something like this. And now what we can do is we can add yet another material, click new, select this top portion by just shift clicking and dragging until we've got that whole top portion selected, and assigning that to the last material. But now this material can be a very dark grey, like so. Once that's done, you can see that these materials are looking a bit flat, so you maybe want them to look a bit more shiny, especially this sort of lead material. So on this material here, material for the end of our pencil, we can change this material and we can go to the roughness value and turn that down. So it's a lot more shiny now. Much like the end of a pencil would be. And for the wood texture, material 1, we can turn that roughness up because wood is not very shiny, as my memory serves. This sort of painted yellow would be a bit more shiny, but not very shiny. It just has just a slight sheen to it, as does the top. Yeah, so that is how you do the very basics of materials in Blender. After my third video where I wrap up this pencil series, I think I'm going to do a more detailed video on how to do stuff like proper textures and videos. But for the sakes of this tutorial, for the pencil tutorial, that is how we can do basic materials. So yeah, I'll see you in the third one. Goodbye.